general guides to answering questions, things to know from units 1 and 2. Our aim is to teach you about Newton's 3 laws in this lecture, about constant acceleration formula, how to do vector addition, momentum and impulse, the concept of work, and gravitational string and kinetic energy. Now let's look at some examples of how to answer a question in the VCE exam, given that you're going to see the exam at the end of the year. So when it comes to answering calculation questions, sadly, you have to show every step of the working out. If you don't show every step of the working out, you will definitely be liable to lose marks. The reason for that is because VCA examiners cannot guess where you made a mistake. All they know is that you've made a mistake. So if you don't show your working out, me as an examiner, I don't know where you made the mistake, right? How can I help you if I don't know where you made the mistake? How can I give you more marks? All I know is the answer you have provided me is incorrect. So I cannot by virtue, right? I cannot give you I cannot give you any marks. However, if you do show me your working out, I can see that you made the substitution mistake, or I can see that you made the mistake in the final calculation of your answer. In that case, I can give you partial marks. I can give you partial credit. Also, I would highly recommend you, before you rearrange, you write the original formula that is on the formula sheet. So this is something I want to spend some time on, right? Before you rearrange, write the formula as it is on the formula sheet, then you can rearrange. For example, if you need to find velocity, you write this equation first, then you can rearrange for velocity and say, oh, well, it is equal to square root of AR, right? Whereas for extended response questions, it gets a little bit funny, because for extended response questions, it's a little bit harder to comment on how you should properly answer these type of questions, because genuinely no one really knows, right? Genuinely, no one knows what the VCA examiners actually want. So the best thing you can do in this case is to try and use dot points. And usually the general strategy that works for most people, and again, disclaimer, this isn't gonna work for every single extended response question, but it's a good rule of thumb to, first of all, explain the theory related to the question, then put the theory in the context of the question, and then make a final statement if necessary. And try and do this in dot points. When you use dot points, essentially what is happening is you are indicating to the examiners that, hey, look, you are indicating to the examiners that you are a diligent student that knows what you're talking about. And usually confidence is key, right? When you emit that type of confidence in your response, usually they are more prone to give you marks than not. So in this, sorry, I'm a little bit sick, but in this case you can see, explain why an EMF is generated in the wire loop as the magnet approaches the loop. First, you state that Faraday's law states that if there is a change in magnetic flux, EMF will be generated as voltage is equal to, and you give the voltage equation, so it's equal to and number of loops in the wire multiplied by changing flux over changing time. And usually the negative sign there indicates, and you can say that it is indicative of Lenz's law. As flux is equal to A multiplied by B, so area of the wire, area that is enclosed by the wire multiplied by the magnetic flux, multiplied by the magnetic field strength. If magnetic field strength changes, then the flux will also change because they are dependent on one another. Hence, as the magnet gets close to the loop of the magnetic field strength increases, changing the flux and generating EMF. So usually kind of that illustrates how to answer extended response questions. Personally, I would just say make sure to, most of the time I would say just make sure to put a little bit of the theory in and include a formula. So even if you're not sure how to answer an extended response question, usually that is a good rule of thumb.